Are you serious about losing weight? Are you a female between the ages of 35 and 55? We have developed specific systems for you that will help you be successful once and for all. For the first time, I am going to show you the exact same introduction and program that my patients see in my office when they start the 6-week weight loss program. You will see exactly how and why the program works and the solid exit strategy we use to make sure people keep the weight off. In a minute, I will play this video so you know exactly what it takes to be successful. What about Ozempic? While it is effective for many, it's not without its challenges. I want to remind you of the listed side effects of Ozempic semaglutide, a medication primarily used to manage type 2 diabetes and, more recently, for weight loss under certain conditions. While it is effective for many, it's not without its challenges. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, and abdominal pain, which are frequently reported. Also, pancreatitis, gallbladder issues, and kidney problems have been linked to Ozempic. There is a boxed warning from the FDA about a potential risk of medullary thyroid carcinoma based on animal studies. People using Ozempic for weight loss often regain much of the weight, sometimes 2/3 or more after stopping it, unless lifestyle changes are locked in. It is not a cure for obesity. It simply suppresses appetite while you're on it, but the effect fades when you stop. The ChiroThin program has none of these side effects and helps you incorporate the lifestyle changes you have to do to be successful, even if you used Ozempic. Okay, before I show you the video, I want to remind you that I have been a chiropractic physician since 1980. I specialize in helping people get well without drugs or surgeries. If you have watched this video this far, I invite you to watch exactly how the ChiroThin program works and give you an opportunity to set up a free consultation with me to determine if this program is right for you. After the video, I will return to tell you how you can avoid taking Ozempic and take control of your weight in your life.
Hello. I want to start this short instructional video by congratulating you on your decision to start living a healthier and more productive life, and to personally thank you for making the doctor-supervised ChiroThin weight loss program part of this journey. Before we get into the specifics of how to perform the doctor-supervised ChiroThin weight loss program, I want to make sure you are aware that there are 2 very specific items that are required. The first is a digital food scale. The reason this is so important is because you must measure your food before you eat it. Eyeballing or guessing the amounts of food is not acceptable. The ChiroThin program utilizes very specific combinations and blends of low glycemic index, anti-inflammatory foods. Because of this, it is critical that you weigh your food. The second thing that you are going to need is a digital body weight scale. Part of the program is weighing yourself and logging your weight on a daily basis. Let's begin our discussion on how to perform the doctor-supervised ChiroThin weight loss program by beginning with the most fundamental concept, which is how you take the drops. The drops are taken under the tongue, and this is called sublingual application. It is critical that you hold the dropper vertically when administering the drops. If the dropper is horizontal, the drop may be too large. You want to avoid eating and drinking for 10 minutes before and 10 minutes after taking the drops. Once you place the drops under your tongue, you are going to hold them there for 1 to 2 minutes. After this period, simply swish the formula around in your mouth and swallow. We recommend that you take the drops 3 times per day, 7 hours apart. The recommended times that you take the drops are 7 a.m., 2 p.m., and 9 p.m. However, the critical component is that drops be taken 7 hours apart. You never want to skip taking the drops. If you miss or skip taking the drops, it is likely you'll become very hungry. You may experience blood sugar fluctuations, and your metabolism may actually begin to slow down. The ChiroThin weight loss program is broken into 3 specific phases. The first phase is the loading phase. The second phase is the losing phase. And the third phase is the maintenance or cycling phase. Let's take a look at the loading phase. The loading phase is performed on day 1 and day 2 of the ChiroThin weight loss program. The drop dosage during the loading phase is 7 drops 3 times per day and is taken under the tongue. During the loading phase, you want to eat at least 5,000 calories per day with as much fat as possible. Think of it as high-fat, high-calorie grazing for 2 days. It is important that you eat a minimum of 4 to 5 times each day. Do not load by eating 2 or 3 times per day. Proper loading is important. One of the fastest ways to minimize the results of the ChiroThin program is to not load properly due to either not consuming enough calories, not eating frequently enough, or a combination of both. If you are diabetic, it is important that you load by eating predominantly high-fat protein and do not go carb crazy. If you have had your gallbladder removed or have a history of gallbladder issues, it is recommended that you load by eating predominantly high-fat carbohydrates. If you are diabetic or have gallbladder issues in your past medical history, please speak to your ChiroThin supervising doctor prior to beginning the loading phase for dietary modifications. Let's now look to what is referred to as the losing phase. The losing phase goes from days 3 through 42. The drop dosage will change from 7 drops 3 times a day to 5 drops 3 times per day, and the drops are still delivered sublingually. Day 3 is when you begin the ChiroThin weight loss program eating methods, which is composed of specific blends, ratios, and amounts of low glycemic index, anti-inflammatory foods. During the losing phase, it is important that you eat no more or no less than the outlined amounts of food. There should be no skipping of meals or shifting food between meals. Do not add fat, sugar, or anything containing extra calories to anything you eat. During the losing phase, it is important that you drink 80 to 120 ounces of water per day minimally. Ideally, you will drink 100 to 120 ounces of water daily. Please know that water is water. Drinking any other type of beverage does not count towards your daily water consumption. Since there are very specific meal guidelines, let's discuss them in a way that is easy to understand. During the losing phase, you'll be eating 2 meals per day. With the ChiroThin weight loss program, there is no breakfast. However, coffee, water, and iced tea are fine. We do not want you adding sugar, fat, or calories to anything. If you take cream in your coffee, we want you to use non-fat, no-calorie creamer. If you typically add sugar or sweetener to your coffee or tea, we recommend that you use stevia. As I stated earlier, during the ChiroThin weight loss program losing phase, you eat 2 meals per day, and those meals are lunch and dinner. It is important for you to understand that the amounts of food that I'm going to go over is to be consumed at lunch and then again at dinner. It is recommended that you do not eat the same sources of calories at both meals. For example, try to avoid the same foods for lunch and dinner. If you ate chicken, asparagus, and apple at lunch, avoid eating it again at dinner, as it is important to mix up the sources of your caloric intake. All food weights discussed should be pre-cooked weights. During the losing phase, you will eat 4 ounces of lean protein. You need 4 ounces of fresh, lower starch vegetables, 4 ounces of lower sugar fresh fruit, and a bread component, which consists of one of the following: 1 Melba toast, 3 to 4 Melba toast snacks, or 1 grissini breadsticks. All 3 of the bread components can be found at your local grocery store and are typically in the aisle that contains the salad dressings. For a detailed listing of ChiroThin-approved lean protein, low-starch fresh vegetables, and lower-sugar fresh fruits, please see the Approved Foods list. The ChiroThin Approved Foods list is located in the back of the ChiroThin Weight Loss Program Instruction Manual and at the beginning of ChiroThin Weight Loss Program Food and Daily Weight Journal. Once again, you'll eat these amounts at both lunch and dinner. On losing phase days 40, 41, and 42, you will continue to follow the ChiroThin losing phase eating program, but will discontinue taking the drops. If you want to truly understand why the doctor-supervised ChiroThin weight loss program works, all we need to do is look at the numbers and combine that with physiology and science. Let's say that the average person consumes 1,500 to 2,000 less calories per day while in the ChiroThin losing phase. This 1,500 to 2,000 caloric deficit must be made up by your body to continue to function properly. The doctor-supervised ChiroThin weight loss program combines the ChiroThin losing phase eating program with dietary and behavioral modification, as well as the nutritional support to help you lose the weight without starvation and give you what you need for long-term weight loss. After day 42, you will have entered the maintenance or cycling phase. If you have reached your weight loss goal, you will enter the maintenance phase. If you still have more weight to lose, you will enter the cycling phase. Both phases have the same processes and procedures. For detailed instruction on the maintenance and cycling phase, see the Maintenance and Cycling Phase instructions in the ChiroThin Weight Loss Program Instructions Manual and view the second video on to55.com. Enter the same password you were given originally. If you have more weight to lose and are in the cycling phase, please know that the average person needs to be in the cycling phase for 3 to 5 weeks before they begin the next round of ChiroThin. During the maintaining and cycling phase, you are going to increase your caloric intake to a minimum of what your BMR is. BMR stands for basal metabolic rate, which is the number of calories that you burn within a 24-hour period with no activity. Under no circumstance should you ever consume less than your BMR caloric requirements when in the maintenance or cycling phases. You are going to continue the dietarian behavioral changes as outlined in both the maintenance phase section of the instruction book and the How-To Maintenance Phase instructional video on to55.com. Additionally, we recommend that you continue or begin nutritional support, and we strongly recommend Chiro Nutraceuticals Ultravite and CNB12 as a minimum. During the maintenance and cycling phase, we are going to recommend and encourage the implementation of an exercise program. Our recommendation is the Chiro Burst training program. It only takes 15 minutes, 4 times per week, and can be performed in the comfort and privacy of your own home. If you prefer more traditional forms of exercise, you can do 30 minutes of traditional exercise 3 to 4 times per week. Once again, if you're in the cycling phase and have more weight to lose, the average person will be cleared to start another round of ChiroThin after they have been following the cycling phase guidelines for a period of 3 to 5 weeks. Now let's take a look at what we like to refer to as success secrets. These secrets are things and tricks that we have learned help the typical ChiroThin client achieve a higher level of success with the program. Let's get started. Any food that is no calorie is free. This includes seasonings and sauces, water-based vegetables, and these would be vegetables such as lettuce, celery, cucumber, cabbage, peppers, pickles. These are considered essentially free and can be added to any meal. Tomatoes can be consumed in moderate quantity, as we consider them partially free. There is a comprehensive listing of free items in both the ChiroThin Instruction Manual and also in the ChiroThin Food and Weight Tracking Journal. If you are wanting something sweet, we recommend flavored, no-calorie water. That said, we do want to limit artificial sweeteners. Any 0 calories or no-calorie seasonings and sauces are acceptable because it's not adding fat or carbohydrates. We recommend that you take Chiro Nutraceuticals Ultravite and CNB12, and you should continue to try to minimize or avoid or even eliminate oil-based lotions and cosmetics. A commonly asked question is, what about exercise? While participating in the losing phase of the ChiroThin weight loss program, exercise is not required. Once you have reached your ideal body weight, it is well documented that exercise should be a part of any long-term weight loss plan. As previously stated, we recommend the Chiro Burst exercise program. If you are unable to skip exercise during the losing phase, we recommend 20 minutes of walking 3 times per week. Additionally, you must modify your daily caloric intake based upon the instructions and the ChiroThin instruction book. Speak to your ChiroThin supervising doctor for clarification on caloric modifications if necessary. Now that we've gone through the key components of the doctor-supervised ChiroThin weight loss program, here's what you need. You need a digital food scale because you will be weighing your food before you cook it. You need a digital home scale because you're going to weigh yourself first thing every morning. You're going to record your weight and log your daily food consumption in the Weight Loss and Food Journal. It's also very important that you bring your weight loss and food journal to every visit so that the doctor can review and make appropriate recommendations based on you as an individual. I want to thank you for your time and attention. We look forward to helping you increase your health and getting back to living a more productive life. Should you have any further questions regarding the doctor-supervised ChiroThin weight loss program, we recommend that you seek the advice of the doctor who's supervising you during this program. Thank you.
Well, now you know exactly what to expect. Let me be clear with you. You need help to do this, or you would have done this already on your own. And to be honest, yes, of course you want to lose weight, but really you want to prove to yourself that you can take control of your life and feel better about yourself, let me help you. I am Dr. Rob Sheely, and I want you to call my office at 513-217-7035 and leave a message or make an appointment with my staff for the ChiroThin consultation. It is free. I am looking forward to seeing you soon.